I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One. Thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at a Rolex Oyster Perpetual Explorer, the latest reference 214270, 39 millimeters in brushed and polished stainless steel. You can see this Rolex Explorer on our website, watchyouwant.com. You can buy it there if you like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now, the bottom line is that in 2010, the Rolex Explorer got one of its most comprehensive makeovers since the model's formal debut in the 1950s. Now, the case, traditionally 36 millimeters, went up to a 39, and that's the watch you see here. There were other changes, mechanical and material, that we're going to go over, but first I want to talk about the fit and the feel. On my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, the watch definitely wears larger than its 114270 predecessor. Yes, it is 39 versus 36, but that's just the diameter of the diagonally opposed round portions of the case. The watch went from 11 millimeters thick to a modestly thicker 11.5, but the real difference was the lug-to-lug measurement, which went from 44 to 47.5. In my opinion, the case looks and wears like a contemporary 40 millimeter Rolex Daytona. So that is your ergonomic reference point. I would say if you've worn a contemporary 6-digit reference Daytona on a bracelet, then you know exactly how this watch is going to fit and feel on your wrist. Now, other refinements include dramatic upgrades to the bracelet. Over time, the Rolex bracelet, the Oysters, have grown dramatically better finished, better constructed, more solid in the hands, and they've really traced Rolex's arc from a utilitarian supplier of professional tool-style watches to essentially an outfitter of those who wear luxury accessories, and the fit and the finish is essentially to that standard. No longer are we using stamped clasps, but fully milled out. Even in a sort of entry-level Rolex model like the Explorer, that is sort of the gateway to a serious Rolex watch on your wrist, you still see that same quality. All 904L stainless steel. There's no 316 in here, so case and bracelet, it's all 904L. No more hollow or folded links. Those are things of the past. The folded links are long gone, but you can see that even into the 90s, when we had hollow links on watches such as this W series 14270, by 2010 those were long gone. And again, all solid center links, milled out clasp, solid end links. It also includes the closure action that's come to define modern Rolex clasps with the crisp snick and snap. Shuts tight, beautifully finished inside and out. It also features a nice little trick that allows for tool-free on-the-fly adjustment of the watch's fit. Again, this 77-200 bracelet and clasp combination gives you access to Rolex's Easy Link. So 5 millimeters of tool-free adjustment. You can see how it clicks in or out. So if your wrist swells during activity or hot weather, or contracts during inactivity or cold weather, you can quickly reconfigure it, and then you find that there's an element of adjustability for convenience and comfort that doesn't require you to have a jeweler's tool or some sort of toothpick to pop a pin. The bottom line is it's a very user-friendly watch and 100-meter water resistant, that is 330 feet, with a twin-lock screw-down crown. This could be your only sports watch as long as you don't require something like a chronograph or a rotating dive bezel. But inboard of the case, now larger and more beautifully finished, and the bracelet, again, much more substantial, you find the classic Rolex Explorer tri-Arabic dial. And again, we see small refinements versus past models like this 5-digit reference from the 90s. You could see this one signed tritium at 6 o'clock. Dramatically contrasts with the latest Luminova reference, but what you can't see as easily is that the 2010 to present Rolex Explorer marked the debut of Rolex's blue ultra-bright chromolite luminescent material in the Explorer line. So during the day, highly legible classical style with baton and triangular indices and the Arabic numerals in white gold, but by night it glows a brilliant blue like the other Rolex chromolite watches. Quite legible, it matches the Rolex 18-karat white gold hour indices and numerals with white gold hands Mercedes style at center. This is a look that is essentially ageless, and there's a reason it's endured from the 50s to the present. This is a watch recognizable as a Rolex through and through, and an Explorer above all. So much so that this dial configuration, regardless of which Rolex model it's been present on through the years, is always referred to as the Explorer. But what beats below the dial is just as intriguing. Now, this features Rolex's caliber 3132 Oyster Perpetual automatic winding movement. It is a COSC certified chronometer, but uniquely, Rolex has standards that go above and beyond the COSC standards, and it then internally recertifies the watch, still keeping time to chronometer standards in-house once it's been fully cased up and water tested. Very few watchmakers of any size, big or small, take that second step once they've obtained a chronometer certificate for a COSC rated watch. The fact that Rolex subjects the movement to the stresses of casing up and adjustment in the case shows that they do go the extra mile to ensure that the watch is still a chronometer once it's sent out to the customer, and goes a long way toward earning that kind of self-appointed label superlative chronometer. This is in many respects a superlative chronometer. It's also a very tough chronometer. There are watches that can make COSC standards, but very few of them are as robust as what's inside a modern Rolex. Now, the other intriguing fact about this watch, besides the fact that it has the Rolex handmade Breguet Parachrome Blue anti-magnetic overcoil hairspring, is the fact that this was one of the debut platforms for Rolex's Paraflex in-house shock-absorbing technology. Paraflex is intriguing if for no other reason than the fact that very, very few customers can actually, or I should say watchmakers, can actually build shock absorbers for their pivots. So they wind up being customers of the likes of either KIF or Inca Block technologies. The fact that Rolex builds its own is extraordinary. The fact that they actually claim additional shock resistance as a result is just the icing on the cake. Now you could see time only, it will run just a little bit longer than industry standards for automatic winding watch. If an industry standard for this class of movement, automatic winding, is about 42 hours defined by your ETA 2824 and 2892 automatic movements, this 3132 will run for about 48 to 50 in the real world, and because it is bidirectional winding with Teflon-coated reversing wheels, it's exceptionally smooth. It's one of the few movements that you can actually hold in the hand, shake, and you can barely hear or feel any evidence that it's energizing itself. With a full balance bridge and a free-sprung balance, it's very tough, again, being both a chronometer and built to retain chronometer precision in the face of handling adversity. This is a great all-around watch with a combination of a black dial, beautiful finish, outstanding material specification, and a white metal case. You can wear this with formal attire, or you can wear this with short sleeves and shorts. And being that it's abundantly water resistant on a full bracelet, and nice and reasonable in its size, not too big, not too small, it looks appropriate on any size wrist in any occasion. You can see this classically styled but modern-sized Rolex Oyster Perpetual Explorer reference 214270 on our website, watchyouwant.com.